Brothers that slay together, stay together. Here's your look at the boss fight studio Vitruvian Hacks Series Z Gene Brothers. Lewis and Miles Genes served with distinction in the Army Corps of Engineers. Upon their honorable discharge, they returned home to Lafayette, Louisiana, and set up a contracting and plumbing business which quickly became a success. Their ties to serving military officers allowed them to get information on the grapevine, so they had insight others lacked into the crisis. As respected community leaders, they were able to convince their neighbors of the true scale of the threat and the actions required to protect their city. The brothers supervised an effort to build defensive fortifications surrounding Lafayette, sealing the infected out. Wells were dug, gardens were planted, and supplies were purchased. The city was turned into a fortress, as its citizens safe, well fed within its walls. Before we get the review started, for the Gene brothers, I know I said plural, then there's a reasoning for that. The first thing, of course, we're going to want to do is measure just how tall the Vitruvian Hack Gene brothers actually are. And again, I know I said that pluralized. We're going to take the tape measure right to the very top of the head, and we're going to move it over. We're going to stop it right there. Boom goes the dynamite. And according to the readout, you're looking at least one of the Gene brothers for the time being standing 5 inches, well, 5.098 inches in height. We can switch that then over to centimeters, revealing that the figure is 12.9, or about 13 centimeters in height. For the purpose of size comparisons, we can move over the Gene brothers, and we can bring in one of the previously looked at Vitruvian Hack Series Z figures. This is Alex Nicolaitis, museum curator, by the way. Stupid Steve, his friend. But you can at least see, short of the fact that Alex does have the helmet on his head, they're going to be about the same figure size to one another, similar articulation, and a similar amount of accessories that come packed included with them. Checking out the figure's accessories. Starting first, he comes included with the same display stand that we've seen with other Vitruvian hacks before. Molded here in all a dark gray plastic and mimicking sort of a concrete surface, there's peg holes or pegs on either side for the holes that are on the undersides of the figure's feet. Still don't know if this is supposed to be a manhole cover, but we're going to run with that for the time being. Again, I like the fact that they include display stands with these figures. Put that to the side. I did already say a couple of times it's the Gene brothers, pluralizing and indicating that there are actually two of them. And you don't get two of them necessarily, but you do get an alternate head sculpt that you can swap from one to the other. Currently with the figure right now, you get this stock head sculpt. Sort of in a way looks like Finn from the new Star Wars trilogy, which is a little bit more gray on the sides of his head. I do like the head sculpt quite a bit, but if you do want to swap this out, then there's also this head sculpt available as well. I certainly see the resemblance, although, unfortunately, this Gene brother is missing his body for the time being. To change out the head sculpts, one last look at looking at these. The bald one kind of looks a little bit like Will Smith. Anyways, to change out the heads, all you're going to have to do is grab the torso, remove the head from the peg, and actually, one good thing about these figures, as I'm doing it right now, when you remove the head, the ball joint stays with the head, as opposed to having to try to fish it out. Then we're going to go ahead and go with the Will Smith head sculpt and just pop that back onto the neck. It's really more a personal preference of which one you would want to go with, but we're going to go with this one for the time being. Let's just bring the ball joint a little bit further out. There we go. So we can actually get it inside the socket of the neck. Perfect. There we go. Maybe it doesn't look so much like Will Smith. But one last certainly look, you can see the difference between the two figures. A very valid argument really to want to pick up more than one of these, so at least you can have both the Gene brothers on display. I'm going to stick with this head sculpt, I think, for the rest of this review. Maybe, I don't know. May pop back that one in later, but we'll see. We'll see. Put that to the side. Let's have a look at the other accessories that come included with the figure. We'll just put this one down for right now. Make sure he's standing properly. There we go. So, the figure also comes included with a corpse of a zombie. It is a similar corpse to the one that we had gotten before. I think it was Alex, in fact. I think that came with a zombie corpse like this, although this one seems a little bit more jaundice in color. The additional darker, almost yellowing color that they've added, it does give a nice contrast of colors, especially when you compare it to the entrails painted very brightly in a crimson red. Again, you flip it around to the back. There are pegs on the bottom of these, and I'm not really sure what they're supposed to necessarily connect to. You'll notice on the display stand that there are holes, but I don't know if it's supposed to be holes necessarily for the corpse. I mean, really, they do line up with one another, and I guess if you wanted to, you can, there you go, attach it like that. I guess really that is the purpose of what they serve. You can attach it to the front of the display stand. Fancy that. So far, 2 of the Vitruvian H.A.C.K.S Series Z figures we looked at have both included corpse bodies like this. So yeah, so you can decorate, I suppose, and adorn the display stand if you want to display your figures. And then, of course, they would be right on either side of those pegs. So that's a kind of a nice touch. Get that in place. Put that down, and of course, we'll look at the rest of the accessories that come included with the figure. All of them are basically for close contact, close assaulting contact with the army of the undead. You get yourself a crowbar. By the sense of, certainly you can see there's all this blood on the end of it. You can clearly see it's been used. That's not made of the softest of plastic. It's a little bit more of a pliable plastic, but still nice looking crowbar. I like that with all the accessories we've looked at so far, that the blood they've applied are all still seeming to be wet. Like it looks like they just recently used them. He comes also included with a hammer, or I guess it would be more a mallet. Surprisingly enough, the thing that I would think would inflict the most damage doesn't actually have blood anywhere on it. It has a dry brushing of silver, as you can see right there. And there is a word right at the very top here. That is 10 pounds, just in case you're curious what it looked like. Nice looking mallet, though, to be displayed with the figure. You also get yourself an adjustable wrench. Personally, if I was given the choice, I would probably have chosen the mallet instead of the wrench for close quarter combat. You get yourself an adjustable wrench as well. Nice paint, really, on all the accessories that we're looking at with these figures. And the last thing we're getting included with this is a pipe. I believe it is the same pipe that we got included with the zombie, the irradiated zombie that we looked at not too long ago. Though the zombie had more of the fluorescent green along the top, this is basically just, again, saturated in red. But again, I asked the question, if I have this, and I have this, what would you choose? Yeah, I would choose probably the mallet myself. Any one of the accessories can fit into his hands. Speaking of those hands, he also comes with a couple of other hands as well. But really, the hands that are currently in the sockets of his forearms do a fine enough job of really holding any of the accessories. For example, let's take the mallet, fit that into his one hand. And sure, why not? He's got another hand, right? Let's take the adjustable wrench and fit this into his other hand. For the amount of accessories, really, that they pack with these figures, nothing really dictates that you have to have them specifically with the figure that they come included with. By all means, use these accessories for some of the other figures as well. Share it around. Don't be that person that's hogging and hoarding all the weapons. That's not how you're going to stay alive. So that's what it looks like with the additional weapons. So let's move those out of the way. Grab everything and take a good sweep of the terrain and move everything out of the way. And let's get a closer look at least one now of the Jean brothers. Again, we were going with this head sculpt as the second time, but the first time, of course, we started with this head sculpt. More, again, a personal preference than anything else. The paint, again, on this is really clean. You can see even the smallest bit, the pupils painted on the inside of the eyeballs. For how small it is, very cleanly applied. And this one, as you can see, he has the grayer beard. Well, actually, the other one didn't even have gray in his beard, but he had gray on the sides of his hair. This one doesn't have the benefit of hair, sadly. Not drawing anyone's attention to the fact the man is bald, but for his outfit, he does have a vest. Sort of a mustard painted yellow vest. I don't know if intentionally, but you can see the dark coloring of the plastic underneath the yellow. Again, it maybe could have been intentional on Boss Fight Studio part so that it would look old. It would look like something that they may have found. You don't certainly want to expect that these characters have just gone shopping and starting to wear clean-looking clothes. Maybe this is a vest that he's had for a while and would explain why you see a little bit of like the chipped away areas of the coloring. Possible. We're going to go with that. He does have a button-up shirt, longer sleeves, though apparently he prefers to have his sleeves rolled up. I'm I'm really like you as well. I hate having sleeves right to the bottom of my wrists. I always feel the need to roll them up. And yes, he has rolled them up on both sides. I do like the coloring of blue that they went with. And actually, it complements nicely the brown slacks that he goes with as well. Apparently, he's all about matching colors, too, because the vest color, that mustard yellow, gets almost a very similar color in his boots. You see the laced-up laces here. These figures, for their size, are quite nicely sculpted and painted quite well, too. Though I would imagine, like, the lower legs and possibly, like, the arms and the torso are probably the molding plastic. I don't think they probably had to paint that at all. The vest was painted, and, of course, the features on the face were also painted in there as well. Nice looking figure, though. For the figure's articulation, the head rotates all the way around. Something also that these figures possess, too, is a dumbbell ball joint. So essentially, you got a ball joint up here. Well, not right. Well, basically through his face would be the ball joint right there. And at the bottom, you'd actually have a secondary one. So that gives you an extra little bit of mileage when it comes to moving the head up, down, rotating the head all the way around, of course. And you can also rock the head back and forth, too. A very comfortable to bend 90-degree angle. On the bend on the arms, that is. You can take the arms and, of course, rotate them all the way around as well. Yeah, I know. You'll see what I mean. There's a lot of articulation happening on these figures. Single hinge on the elbow, and that's fine for me. You can rotate the forearm, yes. You can rotate the hands, yes, all the way around and hinge those also back and forth, just a little bit. Upper torso ball joint. He's got a lower torso swivel. Legs split out. You can bring the legs forward and back. Has a double hinge on the knee. He has not necessarily articulation at the top of the boot. The boot seems to be the same molded part as the rest of the leg. In fact, actually, you can see the line of paint right there where clearly they've painted the boots on top of the brown plastic. But the feet do hinge back and forth. You can ankle pivot them, and you can rotate them all the way around. I am enjoying this Vitruvian line released by Boss Fight Studio. I'm generally, like, growing up, I was always big into the 3 3/4 inch or the 4-inch scale figures. I think you can really just get as much mileage out of a smaller scale figure than you can with a larger scale. And again, we'll just put down the Gene Brother, because we don't have another body. And I guess technically, really, bringing in Alex again, taking off the helmet, keeping the sword maybe in his hand. You really could technically, well, I guess you could swap the hands out. The neck would be the only thing that would be a lighter skin tone. And yeah, then you could certainly make use of this head sculpt, which right now is just unfortunately decapitated and rolling around on its own. The packaging for the Gene Brothers doesn't actually tell you which brother is which, though the artwork that's on the front of the packaging that just happens to be shared on the back for the back bio has the one with the hair in the foreground, and then the one that sort of looks like Will Smith in the background. And then their read-up bio says Lewis and Miles Gene. I'm just going to take an educated guess and assume that the one that has the hair is going to be Lewis, and then the bald one in the back is going to be Miles. So based then on that, Miles here in final looks, as you can see, is displayed with the adjustable wrench. Not really, I think, the best weapon to be using against zombies, but I guess, you know, if that's all you have available. No, that's not all you have available. There's enough really for the Gene Brothers with the pipe, you know, the mallet, the adjustable wrench. I don't know. Even the crowbar. I would probably have chosen the crowbar before I went with the adjustable wrench, but hey, what do I know? I'm not knee deep in it in zombies. I do like the look of this figure and the fact that you do get as many accessories as you do. Don't do what they do in these zombie movies. Don't hoard the weapons for yourself. You gotta really share them around. Don't share them around with what you think to be lunatics, because that's probably gonna come back and bite you later on. But yeah, you want to really share those weapons. So really, for all the things that come packed with these Vitruvian hacks, share those weapons with the other figures. Or if you also get other figures that have a similar skin tone, like for the Gene Brothers, for example, then yeah, you can just pop the heads off those other figures, swap them around, and then you can actually have both Gene Brothers on display. It probably wouldn't make much sense anyways that both the Gene Brothers be wearing the exact same outfits. Are they kind of those brothers that, you know, they don't really look that much alike, but they like to wear the same looking outfits? I always find that strange. Why would you want to look exact? I can understand if you're an identical twin, and maybe that's something that the parents think is fun and cute. I don't think as an adult, though, I would say to myself, hey, I should wear the exact same outfit as my brother, because I don't know, people would just say, hey, oh, you guys are related. You guys are related. No, I think that's kind of strange. I think that's really, really strange. Big thank you, though, to the folks over at Boss Fight Studio that provided the sample of the Gene Brothers from the new Vitruvian Hacks Series Z, or Z. If you guys are new to this channel, enjoying all the content you're seeing, hit that subscribe button down below. Turn the bell notification on and keep your peepers peeled to this channel, because we will be looking at more Vitruvian hacks in the not-so-distant future. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.